Hello and welcome back to another episode of Teaching Partner. Cooperative learning is an instructional approach that involves students working together in small groups to achieve a common goal or complete a task. It is based on the principle of interdependence, where each member of the group is responsible for their own learning and the learning of others in the group. The goal of cooperative learning is to promote active engagement, collaboration, and positive interdependence among students. In cooperative learning, students work together in a structured and organized manner, often with specific roles and responsibilities assigned to each member. This approach encourages students to interact, share ideas, discuss concepts, and solve problems collectively. It fosters a supportive and inclusive learning environment where students can learn from each other, challenge their own thinking, and develop important social and communication skills. Now, there is a question how we can implement in our class. Cooperative learning can be implemented in various ways, such as through group projects, problem solving, activities, discussions, and peer tutoring. It can be used across different subjects and grade levels, and it can be particularly beneficial for promoting critical thinking, communication, teamwork, and mutual respect among students. The best part of cooperative learning is that it is applicable for face-to-face class or online class or even hybrid. In today's video, I am giving you one complete example how to implement, including role assignment, success criteria, and even instructions. So you can use this as a model and you can create your own cooperative learning. So let's consider the topic is the circulatory system, and the cooperative learning activity will be jigsaw research project. Let's assign the role to the students. Consider there are 4 members in a group. Member number 1, herd expert, researches and becomes an expert on the structure and function of the herd, including the chambers, valves, and blood flow through the herd. Member number 2, blood vessel expert, researches and becomes an expert on the different types of blood vessels, arteries, veins, and capillaries, their structure and their role in the circulatory system. Member number 3, blood cell expert, researches and becomes an expert on the different types of blood cells, for example, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, their functions and their importance in the circulatory system. Member number 4, circulatory pathway expert, researches and becomes an expert on the pathway of blood flow through the circulatory system, including the pulmonary and systematic circulation. Let's talk about the success criteria of this. Each expert must research their assigned topic thoroughly and become knowledgeable about the subject matter. Each expert must be prepared to present their findings to their group members clearly and concisely. Each group member must actively participate in the group discussions and contribute to the overall understanding. Each group member should be able to explain how their assigned topics relates to the overall functioning of the circulatory system. Let's come to the instructions part. So teachers should divide the class into small groups of 4 students each. First of all, assign one role to each as discussed earlier, and instruct each student to research their assigned topic by using reliable resources such as textbooks, online articles, or academic journals. Remember, teachers, don't ask the students to make an open search for Google because it may lead to the different kind of text, different level of academic, or maybe some unpredictable results as well. Encourage students to take notes and gather visual aids, for example, drawing, illustration, and support their understanding and presentation. Set a timeline. That is very important for the task. You will give a particular timeline for research and preparation. For example, allocate a specific time. Okay, you have 10 minutes to search, for example. So give a specific amount of time for each member to become an expert for this topic. You can also use flipped learning in this regard. So you can give the assignment to the students to prepare at home and come back in the classroom. If you have no idea about flipped learning, you can watch my video. I will share the link in the description. Make sure once the research is complete, have each group reconvene and allocate time for each expert to present their findings to their group members. And encourage group members to ask questions, seek clarification, and engage in discussions during the presentations. After all the presentations are complete, have the group reflect on the information shared and discuss how each aspect of the circulatory system connects and relies on one another. Then facilitate a class discussion to consolidate the information and address any misconceptions or unanswered questions. Conclude the activity by assessing the success criteria, highlighting the collaborative effort, and summarizing the key concept of the circulatory system. This is how you can manage one successful cooperative learning. By implementing this cooperative learning activity, high school students will have the opportunity to become experts in specific areas of the circulatory system, collaborate with their peers, and develop a comprehensive understanding of this important biological topic. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this video is very useful for you. So thank you very much. If you have any question, query, or you need any support for making a decision, don't hesitate to write an email to theteachingpartner@gmail.com. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Goodbye.